Ready?
Go.
See. Ready? Go. Grab your friends and gather around. Hear the stories when you're down. With songs and smiles for miles. If you're looking for a place to go, I know one hell of a show. There's a place that'll make you glad. Opposite of being sad. DICK&Dank.com. DICK&Dank.com.
Welcome back to Dope Discussion with Dick and Dank. Woo! Dick is here today. Welcome back, Dick.
What's up?
And we're not using Dick for a day, Donnie. We are in our Core Tucky studios here, Core Tucky Oasis. We've got it labeled out back here. But we finally, after I don't know how many times we've attempted or tried or talked about having them on here, we've got Daily.Homegrown on the show today. The man, the myth, the legend, who's taught our very own Dick here how to grow his own weed.
That's right. What's up, man?
How we doing, everybody? How's everybody's afternoon going?
Oh, we're doing great.
Great now that you're on.
Right. It's
Finally.
warm. There's a
Good,
breeze.
good.
We're
Good.
smoking weed. I started with a hit off my, as he calls it, a sex toy pop can water pipe. But it's a good way to spend the afternoon. What
Yes,
are you
it
up
is.
to?
It's a beautiful day. Just finishing some stuff at the office. Went to the grow shop a little bit earlier. By the way, the guys from QC Garden Supply send their hellos. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Just getting ready to celebrate the 4th.
Aren't those guys the shit?
They are my favorite, to be honest with you. They're great
cool as-
guys. They're knowledgeable.
Yeah, they're cool as shit.
Yep.
Anytime you have a question, they'll answer your question. You go in there, they don't try to upsell you on shit. They're fucking awesome. I love those guys.
That's great.
Yep.
Now, I
Yep.
obviously don't
Yeah.
shop there like you guys do. But yeah, after meeting him, I was like, very personal, great to work with, had us in there, made
Yep.
us feel comfortable. I'd like to go back there and record again if they want to get another grower or somebody else that wants to come in and talk to us in person. That'd be great.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
you both shop
they're
there. That's
fantastic.
good. Shopping local. Now, how
Got
long have
to,
you
got
been growing then, Daily.Homegrown?
I legally got my med card in 2021.
Nice.
Okay.
So you've been
So
growing about 4
legally-
years. You're doing really good for growing for just 4 years. You are a rocket scientist.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that I'm a programmer by day, so everything to me is kind of data. So it was easy for me to kind of look at, what does this plant need as far as nutrients go, as far as light recommendation, as far as environment, and really kind of study things from a scientific perspective and put together a formula. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still make mistakes all the time. We all do,
Yep.
and it's always a learning experience. But having a logic-driven mind has been helpful for me in the style that I prefer to grow in.
Right on. I think we'd get along just fine.
Yeah. I think you touched on something that I want to bring up that I don't think enough people think about. You called it the style that you like to grow. I think,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
not that I'm an expert by any means, you know that you've taught me everything I know. But when I talk to people, I think a lot of people make mistakes where they make the mistake is they're like, okay, I have to do it like this. I have to do it like that. So on and so forth.
It's somewhat flexible, is it not?
Oh, it's very flexible.
It is.
But it's all.
But you still have to pay attention, be focused, but it's flexible and forgiving.
Yeah, there's different ways, and everybody's good at better at different ways, and you got to figure out what works good for you.
All right, so when he says what's your way, like, is there something specific or unique to the way you grow? Do you harvest early? Do you dry longer? Do you?
There is, and I'll kind of back it up just a little bit back to Dick's question is,
Okay.
the different styles. I've grown organic living soil. I've grown in cocoa coir, which is basically hydroponic, and then I've grown in full-on hydroponic, where it's nothing but hydrogen, which are clay pebbles supported with water, basically, and nutrients. So the thing is I think what is kind of what is ideal is to find out what environment works best in your, or what grow style works best in your environment. Because number one, you can take the exact way I'm doing things and put it in a different house or a different basement or a different geographic location, and you will not get the same results. Okay.
Yep.
So number one, it's great to have an open mind, but like you really got to try a couple different styles to find out what works in your environment the best. And it's also kind of like what kind of a thinker are you? How do you analyze? How much hands-on time do you want? How much of this hobby do you want to consume your time? So like when I first started, I started growing organics, and I'm all for natural soil, microbes, that's great, but it wasn't my style. Because what I found is when I started growing that way, that was the first style I chose. I didn't really know enough about plant biology and the way that you really need to make sure those nutrients and minerals and all of those supporting microbes are in place well before your plant needs them. So like I didn't understand when to feed what to make sure that when it got into flowering, I wasn't seeing a deficiency, or when I was, getting to the end, it was actually, consuming the rest of the plant instead of the nutrients. So there's a lot of things you need to kind of learn as a baseline, but that style didn't really work for me. And then I moved to cocoa, which was kind of great. I had a huge success in cocoa.
What is that? Because I'm unfamiliar.
Cocoa is just a different growing medium. So instead of soil, what cocoa is so you have a coconut, and those coconuts have a husk on them, which is basically a fibrous material. If you've seen a coconut, held a coconut. So what they do is they take that fibrous material and husk it off or shuck it off, and basically use that as your growing medium. Now, the reason why they do that is because it's an inert media, which means it doesn't hold any nutrients, so that you can tailor the feeding that you want for that particular plant or that particular cultivar you're running. So you're basically you're watering nutrients. You might be using synthetics, you might be using organics, but the whole concept of that is this plant is getting the nutrients this plant is going to receive is a formulation of whatever I put in. So you can control that medium a little bit better.
Now, why is that? Why can you control that medium? Now, when you say that medium in that coconut, and I can visualize and picture it. Now, I'm looking right outside our Kentucky Oasis. My wife has hanging plants and has that liner inside this basket. Is that the exact same stuff?
Basically.
Okay.
Very similar.
Yeah, so I can see that there. I'm sure it's different because it's got to hold the plant in and tighter, for it to grow roots and spread. And
sure.
No, I can understand that. Now, Dick over here is going to make fun of me because, well, he always makes fun of me. But we both grew up on the farm, but we have completely different farm experiences. Now, he's following along with you, and he's a grower for marijuana at home too, and that's why you guys get along great. Now, I grew up on the farm, but my father did not spend the time or desire to try and get me interested in the farm. He put me to work on the farm. Sure. He just said, hey, go till this. Hey, go do that. And I did it, not enjoyable to me,
right.
As I tried to take pride in the farm, apparently as I grew older, I found out that I guess he didn't want that life for me. It's, small farm, we're not growing. The amount of debt I would have to go into to advance it the next stage or whatever. I can understand that now at this age. But I didn't take the time to learn, all these plants and hybrids and pollen. We were talking to Big Muddy Genetics at a previous episode and, smoking the nuts off the plant. It's like, I didn't know that plants had nuts. I knew they pollinated, and I just didn't quite sit down and think about how that happens. And, I know about detasseling corn and all those things, but not the level of detail to where you're actually doing it. I've never grew plants. Obviously in grade school, I won the award for they give you a seed. I took a tomato seed home and I brought back the best plant. I think it was the only one that still had it alive or whatever. But, so I had the skill set. I just didn't pay attention. It's in me, but it's like, this is too boring. But now I can grow weed.
Sure.
I'm a lot more interested in farming.
Yep.
So to get back on track, wherever that was, but so you're talking about your grow style. Now that you've said you've tried all these different growing styles, you feel this coconut shell is your cocoa plant is your.
Nope, I moved on from cocoa and I went to full on straight hydro, and that's where I've been.
Straight hydro, that's your favorite.
the last year. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
now that what I was trying to say was that now that you tried all of those, like what are the biggest differences, or what led you to this being your favorite or the way to go?
Well, it boils down to kind of a work-life balance. So, I have a full-time job like we all do.
Mhm.
And when I get home, depending on the grow style, you can spend anywhere from 5 minutes in your garden to an hour and a half in your garden doing maintenance and doing things and mixing nutrients and doing feedings. And what I was looking for is I was looking for a style that would allow me maximum flexibility. It would allow me to not be home every day to water. It would allow me to calculate my feedings and make sure that my plants were getting exactly what they needed when they needed it. And it would also be a little bit more eco-friendly in the sense that I'm not constantly running through soil or cocoa or dumping things out. I really wanted to get into something that was a little bit more sustainable. Now I do feed some salt nutrients and I feed a couple organic nutrients. So you are still kind of not 100% clean there, but I think I was looking for, what's the best style I can grow in my environment to get the biggest yields, the best flavor,
Okay. And that's what I was going to ask.
and the most consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, as far as your yield, obviously, I would assume that's your goal is what the most yield you could get based on the amount of time that you're spending with it. Now, Dick, are you growing in the same style then, since he's teaching you? No, you're growing in a different style.
Yep.
Okay, because Daily.Homegrown, your experience in multiple, and you're teaching him how to grow. And now, what style are you growing in?
So I grow in the live soil or the organic soil.
Okay, so you're buying a special organics like a Miracle Grow kind of soil?
It's Bio 365.
Bio 365, I'm
Yep.
assuming available there at Quad City
It is.
Gardens.
It is.
Okay.
Yep. And Daily.Homegrown is who hooked me up with that. Well, between him and the grow shop. That's
All right, so what's the biggest difference between now you two obviously now are growing separately, but together kind of essentially. Now, what's the biggest difference that you're noticing the way you're growing versus the way he's growing? Or do you?
The way I grow versus the way he grows?
Yes.
He's way better at it.
Well, I understand that. But is it because of the way he's growing it, or because just he's who he is and he's that good at it?
A little bit
of both?
A little bit of both. He really takes it serious.
Yeah.
And
Now, have you kept track? Do you keep stats? Like, do you measure the yield?
Oh yeah, I've got
Okay.
I've got journals. Yeah.
So that's what I'm afraid of about getting into growing, because then I feel like I'm going to be that way and be obsessed with it and take way too much of my time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It can happen, but that's where you've got to decide like how much of a priority is
I
this?
work
How
from home.
important
I'd
is
be
this? I mean,
staring at it every day. I don't know how much time
You
it would
do.
suck me
You
away from
do.
my day job. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to go
What you're
in my
saying.
home office, literally in the little what do you call it, bay window or whatever
Yep.
it sticks out. I'm thinking the tent would fit right there. It's like I could literally stare at it every day. I could be nursing, clipping, watering, pruning, whatever.
Yep.
Gosh,
Let me
I'd be
let me jump
obsessed.
into that just for 2 seconds.
Okay.
I think you can grow as a hobby and just something fun just to watch and learn about the plant without making it or turning it into a job. You don't need to turn it into a job. I'm a logic guy, and anything I do, I pretty much get obsessive on. Whether it's writing software or whatever else, I immerse myself in whatever I'm interested in at the time. And for a while, it's been this. I mean, I've been a smoker for 30 years, but I didn't start growing until it was legal here, and I was able to do that in color within the line, so to speak.
Yeah.
And with that opportunity, and the investment I've put into growing that medicine for me correctly, I've wanted to dial it in just because that's kind of my personality. But I know people that have their medical cards and just grow a plant or two, and it saves them money at the dispensary, and they kind of take pride in having their own medicine that they help grow.
Absolutely. And I want to get
it's
to that
important.
point. Now, as you said, you've taken this time to get the plant variety that works best for you, because we've been learning about the terpenes, and everybody's different, reacts differently, they affect you differently, and that takes a level of intelligence or what do you say? You got to be able to keep track of some kind of diary. Like this
Sure.
is how this affected me. This is what this did. This made me tired. This gave me this made me panic. Whatever. And I don't take the time to do that. But I think now that I'm a daily user, the tolerance level. I forgot to tell you about the guy I talked to yesterday. Oddly enough, I'm going to cut away real quick, but we're going to get him on an episode soon. The little yellow bottles or whatever he sells. But But he said when he was casually smoking weed, his blood pressure went up and he gained weight.
Okay.
And then he started working in the industry, and he said, well, if I'm in this, I'm in this. So he became a daily user, and now his blood pressure is great, and he's lost weight. I was like, no shit.
Yep.
So now, and I've lost weight too, and I don't know if that was just hand in hand or any other things I'm doing, but sidetrack, what I want to get to is how did you narrow down the plant variety that best suited you for you to be able to commit to growing it at home? And that's the one that, is your best medicine for you. How do you get to that point to decide which one?
That's a lot of trial and error.
That's the fun part.
And that's the fun part. Like, I have a cultivar I've ran for quite some time. It's called Scarface, and I found it back in 2021. And one of the reasons I continue to hold that in my garden is because of the way it grows. It's vigorous. It grows fast. It grows consistent. It's not a huge THC producer, and like you were kind of alluding to with the terpenes and whatnot, it's really not about those numbers. Those THC numbers are really built in for the pricing model for the cannabis business model in Illinois.
And that's what I wondered. And right now, that's all I know to go off when I go to the store, because I don't know enough about the other things, and hopefully this podcast can help everybody learn.
Daily.Homegrown is the first one that he's the one. I've told you about how I feel.
Yeah,
about,
absolutely.
I got it from him.
Yeah.
And so, and I stick with that 18 to 22% typically.
Yeah.
I really do too.
Yep.
And
that seems to be the sweet spot for me.
Well, and I've had some that have tested really high. I've had, my last, the goat glue that I ran for the goat glue cup, or the goat cup. Yep. It was, I think I tested it 27, but I've had 14% that put me in the dirt. That
really?
That tasted better, that the effects were more prominent. So those numbers are built in the way they tax and the way they charge at the dispensary.
That's a long time before I can find the strain that's going to work for me at home, because that's still a lot of first of all, I got to start keeping track, and I'm way behind.
That just means you're going to have to grow a whole bunch and try a whole bunch.
Fair enough. But I like your style. But until we get there, for me, going to the store, what should I be asking now? People say the freshest, which I can understand. I've noticed the difference. The more dank it is, damp, and it smokes. And man, you get a good high off of that. But other than the freshest, what should I be asking for when I go to the store? As far as because now the THC is irrelevant, as you say. What should I be asking for?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily irrelevant. What I'd say it shouldn't be the priority. Okay.
Fair enough.
So what I do, for instance, what I'll do. And I'll shop at the store every once in a while too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great resource to have for the people that can't grow their own.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we can go to the store nowadays and it's not criminalized is a huge win for advocacy and for medicine and just for personal rights.
Yeah.
With all that aside, though, what I will buy things that I can't get or I haven't had in a long time, or I will research like what's out and what genetics are in it, and what do the users report feeling for it. So like for instance, now the other big problem is the way they label things in the dispensary is not really helpful. I mean, in Illinois, you cannot see your product before you buy it, so you can't smell it, which is really screwed up. And then in addition, a lot of the bud tenders are not really informed very well on what strains they're selling, and that's changed in some spots, I will say that. But for the most part, they're used to, is it an indica, is it sativa? And what the big problem with that is indica or sativa doesn't have anything to do with the effects. The indica versus sativa differentiation is basically the structure of the plant and how it grows, whether it's tall, whether it's short, whether it flowers long, whether it, what climate is. Those are all things that are
you don't think that
descriptive of
indica is as a body high and a sativa is a head high? You don't notice a difference there?
No, I really no.
Okay.
I personally don't, and I know other growers that feel the same on that. And it's basically what terpenes are in it, because those particular terpenes and those cannabinoids and the ratios that they're mixed together cause an entourage effect that has a certain effect on everybody. Now, with that said, everyone's brain chemistry is a little bit different too. So a strain that relaxes me might not relax you. So there is a lot of studies out, and there's a lot of papers that basically put people into groups. So like if this strain and this strain and this strain make you tired, then these types of terpenes are good for nighttime for you. And if these strains give you anxiety or make you feel creative and talkative, then these strains with those similar terpenes would be good for you for that effect. So it's really kind of a trial and error. I mean, at the end of the day, you really can't go wrong. I mean, when we first started smoking weed way back in the day and consuming, it was just weed. there was like, hey, it's just pot.
and I'm
That's
with
it.
you, and I don't think I've ever really been disappointed. There's some where I was like, I didn't really notice much, but then there's others like,
Sure,
man, I am
sure.
so tired. I don't want to move. Most relaxing. I've had the couch lock where I'm literally, in the sun, just zoned out. I can hear everything, but it's too much effort to move. But I
Right.
feel great.
Right.
But then I've also been, typically I just talk more when I'm a motor mouth anyway. But when I'm high, I talk more because I can't keep up with my brain. But and those are the ones I enjoy during the day. But
Perfect. And so I would do is I would take notes of those that make you more talkative or those
I'm
that
a
make you
bad
more
note
relaxed.
taker.
And find,
That's the problem. I'm a bad note taker.
Yeah.
I need to try. If I can get Google to keep track of my notes, I need to get better at that because I got a Google speaker in about every room. So I'll just start having her keep track of my, hey, I like this strain because of this or whatever. Maybe she can keep track. I'll work on that. I'm a tech guy.
That would be probably beneficial. I mean, at least you could find kind of what jives. And then when you're going into a dispensary and you're looking to buy something new, and if it has those similar terpene profiles, you could say, "Oh, this is probably gonna make me feel like this."
Yeah.
And kind of get an idea of what your chemistry does.
Well, I know I like Durbans and like Durban Diesel, and then there's a few others. But I'm not trying to remember some of the
Okay.
lineages. Girl Scout cookie I know seems to be popular. So there's like a Brownie Scout I've been getting. But for me to grow my own, then I feel like it's going to take a commitment. But luckily, thanks to Big Muddy Genetics, I have 2 sets of seeds, so I can start right there.
Yep.
When I'm
Awesome.
ready.
Awesome.
But I'm not
you
ready
know
to
him, by the
invest
way?
in the plant or the.
I met him a few weeks back, well, maybe a month or so ago at an event, and
Okay.
we talked and we realized we're both from the same area, like
Right.
the same
That's what I was
neighborhood
asking.
almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get together at some point in the near future and have a little powwow.
Good.
But
Good.
I haven't. We follow each other on Instagram, but I haven't ran into him since. So
Good. I was gonna hook you guys
he
up.
seemed like a really nice guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
super
he
nice.
seemed like a really decent guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So what would be your best yield per plant that you've had?
Yeah.
Probably my Scarface. I mean, I've pulled a pound per plant. And
So Scarface is your best
that's a
yield.
lot.
What's your best to smoke?
That changes a little bit. I keep Scarface around all the time, and that's another problem with our Illinois limits of only being able to grow 5 if you want to keep one. So that takes one off your list. So I
Right.
keep Scarface. So if you'll notice on my Instagram, if you notice all my shots are of my 8x4, that's my flower tent, that I usually only have 4 in there because I'm keeping bombs. So this particular run, I've got my Scarfaces going, and that'll tide me over probably till Christmas. And then I've got a couple other on the waiting list that I'm looking forward to running. That I've got a huge genetic library. I wouldn't say huge. People do have bigger, no doubt. But
Oh no, it's huge.
I've got
You've showed it to me. That thing is massive.
I've got a lot of different cultivars ready to go that I'm excited about. But again, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, what haven't I had in a long time, or what sounds really interesting? And then then with that whole scenario though, it takes you 3-4 months. Then you're drying and curing and everything else before you can taste it. So if you get to the end of the line and it didn't work out for you, or you didn't really care for it, then you're back to square one. So that's one of the reasons I always keep a mom plant of my Scarface, because I know I'll always have medicine that works for me, that I like, and that I get a good yield from. So,
All right. Let's
try to leave a little room to play around.
Let's walk through this scenario then. So say I wanted to get started growing. My first step, I'm going to go to the dispensary, start getting varieties of weed. I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to find the one that I like best. Now I say, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. I want to get started. Now, what's the best way? You're saying start with a clone, start with seeds. Yeah, how do I get those? How do I start?
I say you start now and then do your research. 'Cause I'm serious.
No, yeah,
Because what's going to happen is it's going to take you a while, and your first run or two are going to be not rough, but they're not going to be fantastic, but you're going to learn so much. So by starting with the seeds you got from Muddy
So
Genetics, you can
practice
understand how
growing now
germination.
while I'm taste
Yes,
testing all the
yes,
ones I like, and then I can learn how the grow
absolutely,
works, and then I can pick the ones I want.
absolutely,
All right.
absolutely. Make it fun. Make it a hobby. Make it
Yep.
enjoyable.
Yep.
And obviously, Dick is choosing clones because that's the safest. Somebody's already started to grow to the point where it's not safe, but it's already grown to a point where it's a viable, good plant versus seeds that are sketchy at first.
Well, we haven't talked about
I
this lately.
I'll jump in on this if you want.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings. Okay, and I do run clones a lot, and I do run seeds. And here's the deal: like when you get a good clone from a good source, and it's a good genetic, it is going to be exactly what you expect it to be,
Right.
as long as you grow it
Consistency.
correctly. So consistency, and that's huge. All right, but when you get seeds, it's specifically regular seeds, not feminized seeds. But I'm not knocking feminized seeds, but if you get regular seeds, you have the potential to find something there that no one else has found. You have the potential to find a keeper, a winner, or something that nobody else has because of that genetic variability, that probability that the genetic lineup in that particular
So
seed is
unique.
different than the one right next
Something
to it.
new.
So unique. Something new.
Well,
So
everything's
the
unique
change,
anyway based on the environment and how you grew it anyway, am I right? Even the clone, because you started young, it's going to affect the taste and flavor,
not
but essentially
necessarily.
the plant's the same.
It's going to be, it's the exact same genetics. So okay, for instance, if you and I both had a clone and I ran it in my environment and you ran it in your environment and we both knew what we were doing. Let's just say we're both fair growers.
Yeah.
We could depending on how different our environments are or grow styles are, mine could show some traits that were dominant or non-dominant traits, or yours could show some traits or characteristics that mine doesn't show.
Such as?
But 90 maybe they color different at the end because I run a cooler grow room at the end of my cycle. Maybe yours had a little too much light, so they developed, a bleaching, or maybe let's say I don't. Your feed was different, so maybe your terpenes
Well, it's a
are
life.
a little
Everything's
stronger
unique.
than
It's
mine.
a plant life. It's a growing
But
object. It's
right, but the ratios, it's all going to be it's going to be close. That's kind of why, like, my favorite competitions are when everyone has the same cut.
Yep.
Instead of everybody just submit your own strain, because there's so much variation. How can you really say this is way better
describe
than this?
that there's a contest where everybody takes the same clone and they all grow it and see who can do the best.
Yep. That was the last cup I was in. Yeah.
Wow. And
that
you
was
won?
last. No, I took fourth. I should have took third, but we won't get into that.
Well,
But yeah, I took
congratulations on
fourth.
fourth. Out of how many?
Hey, I'm proud. I don't know the total number, but I know I was amongst a lot of talented people.
Okay.
And I definitely was a learning experience, and I got to meet a lot of cool people out of the Chicago community that I've remained friends with to this day, that I call good friends. And
Okay,
I think
now
that experience was really cool.
Did you get a chance to listen to the last episode we just put up? Probably not, but
I didn't yet. No, it was on my list. When I saw you online last night, I just messaged you. I was like, I got to listen to that tomorrow.
But yeah, we talked to Just Joe at the Bud Tender's Choice Award. So I imagine it's something similar to that, correct? Or is that the same thing?
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
So they're having these kind of contests all over the place then.
They
or at
are.
least in Chicago.
They are.
Anyway,
And I think,
but,
yeah, I think the next big one is probably going to be the Illinois Hash Cannabis Cup. And I know that there's up in Chicago, I think it's July 26th or 24th, I don't remember, but it's their last sign-up kickoff party for the cup, for that cup.
Dick, I got another goal for our success. One was to get on the marquee at The Edge. Our last episode sponsored by The Edge. But now, if we can get invited to stream live at one of these events, that'd be badass.
Yeah.
Dick and Dank streaming live at one of these, judging events and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't think it's that hard to
Well,
do.
you guys could probably do that. Yeah, you could probably do that. People, it's all really
I want to
about
get
community,
invited like it's an honor. It's like, hey, we'd like you to come stream live and, promote our event or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Not like anybody can show up and be the press. I get that. But
I got you.
I wouldn't, yeah.
it's like, hey.
You want the accolades.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, hey, we want Dick and Dank there, talking about our product, talking about our contest, because we want the word out. But
Yeah, you guys are putting out some pretty good interviews.
We're almost 6,000 followers, so we're growing, and trying to get a lineup of guests. I've got 2 or 3 people ready to interview soon, so we're growing. As soon as I get
you guys
this
are
guy
doing
out of
really
the
well.
field.
Really well.
Dick's always farming
Yeah.
at
All
home
working
and
outside.
outside.
That's true. I was farming this morning, smoking weed while I was farming. But anyway,
It's the life. Speaking of which,
I was going to ask you something. Oh, so where do you have a when you go to the dispensary? Do you have one in the Quad Cities that you prefer?
That's I have a medical card and I get a better discount if I go to NTI.
Yep.
I like the guys at Terrace.
Okay.
I like what they're doing. I like the underdog.
I gotcha.
So
I gotcha.
I think that what I think is I think competition's good.
Yes.
absolutely.
And I
Couldn't
think
agree more.
I think the laws need to change a little bit so that if you're a medical patient, you get the same pricing everywhere,
Yep.
and it's transparent.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
think that would help. I think that would help the consumer, because really, it should be about the consumer, and the consumer should drive the market,
Right.
not the owner.
Right.
So,
Right.
morally, I'm for the consumer, and whatever that means is whatever's best for the consumer.
Well,
and
again,
I
'cause
don't
this
think
is
I don't think
medicine.
locking
This is-
down. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is medicine. This is
I
helping everybody. We're growing it at home. There should be, we're trying to avoid the pharmacy in that whole market. And the fact that I have to get this without using insurance to pay for it for my own mental health, but at least now I can grow it from
100%.
home. And that's what's great, and not need any of it. I like to be
100%.
independent.
Yep.
The key is access, equal access for everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
should be able to access the medicine they need.
Yep.
And if you can do that, and you can do that in a morally respectable way, you've got my business.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you want to take pills, take pills.
Right.
I don't give a shit. If you
Well,
want to take,
I don't care, but I just I don't like the money that they're charging for them and the insurance and the for the cost it probably takes them to make the shit, and just raking people over the coals and keep raising it. That's the thing I don't like. And then doctors are on commission. The sales reps are on commission, so then they're prescribing it when people don't need it. Yep. Those are the kinds of things I'm against.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big ugly business.
Yeah, if a pill helps, fine. I had tried pills, they didn't help, but I probably didn't try them long enough. But I didn't like the time it takes to find the right pill. Right. Because you got to wean yourself on, you wait, and then you're miserable and wean yourself off, and then try another one. And
Sure.
And it's miserable the entire time. Where I can smoke weed and feel great, and it didn't really matter which one I tried. So I'm all.
And it sounds like you found the right medicine.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but now the next step, I suppose, is to be able to grow my own medicine at home. You said you have an old tent that I might be able to partake with.
Yeah, I got a spare tent now that I
doubled
expanded.
your size. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't put it up yet though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
I'm in no hurry, but
like
I have seeds.
You should do that endeavor. And now's really a good time to get started, because when you get into flowering, you're probably going to be just heading into the winter, so it'll keep your room temperature perfect. Now's a good time. Now's a good time.
Yep.
Look at him go.
Yep. I agree.
No time like the present.
That's right.
But yeah, Dank, I would say just grow while you do some research. You're going to learn some things. By the time you find out what you really want to grow, then you can knock it out of the park, bud.
So all right then. If I say I wanted to grow, say outside and give it a try just for a whirl, so I could start the seeds in like a paper towel, wait for them to sprout, kind of thing, in a damp, dark place. All right,
Yeah,
you
could.
Move to dirt. All right.
You could. Yep. I don't like growing outside in the Midwest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Me personally, and the reason why is the weather's. I'm a control person. I need to know
I agree.
that all my inputs are locked down. So, like in the past, I've had plants outside, and at the end of the season, what happens when you have 6 to 7 days of rain, and now all your stuff's moldy, and you have to throw it away.
Right.
It's
Fuck
not
that.
fun. So.
Right.
So that'll take that takes about 1 or 2 times of happening, and you're like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Fair enough. All right, I can respect that.
It's
So,
funny.
but it's fun to throw one out there.
Yeah.
we're completely opposite in the way that we grow, with you being hydro and me being soil. Like, like on
Absolutely.
the farm, I'm used to just, we spread this shit out on the field,
Yeah.
and we till it and we plant it, and by God, we just hope
Let it
for the
rip.
best. Yeah,
Right. That's what you do.
Yep.
Right. So, the first couple times I've been using the auto pots, and that's great, and then the last time that I used the auto pots, I didn't run enough cleaner through when I was not
Yep.
cleaner, but the I can't think of it, cleanse in my batches, and so my shit was getting gummed up. And
Now
it was
describe the autopots for people that don't know what an autopot is.
so it's basically just you have a reservoir, it's like a 13-gallon trash can, roughly,
Okay.
just for argument's sake, and then there's 2 and 2, 4, a whole bunch of numbered amount of pots you can get, but there's lines that go to a base, and then your pot sits in this base, and then once your plants get their roots down to the bottom of the pot, then it's just all gravity fed, and
Water runs through there, waters the plants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And they work great, but the problem is you got to pH your stuff, and so if you're not somebody that's good at doing stuff like that every single time, and that
I
can
check
be
the pool every week.
you would be, dude, you'd be fine. You're anal about everything you do.
I do. Look at my garage.
No matter what you wanted to do, you would be fine at it. Now, I would
fair
not
enough.
recommend hydro for you, but that's just because you're so anal, you'll drive yourself nuts.
I don't like when you use the word anal when you're referring to me.
I'm just saying. But anyway, no. So the last run that I had to junk, which is another story. I just ran in soil, and I did. Well, I mean, I always run in soil, but I had it in the auto pots, and I just kept hand feeding the whole time. And I like it a whole lot better because it makes me really pay attention to my plants.
Hand watering, hand feeding daily, every other day.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, at first you wouldn't have to do it every day. I don't know, 2-3 days, whatever. And then, but once they start getting bigger, then you got to water them and feed them every single day.
Now you say I'd be all right. Now I'm a routine guy. It's got to be in a schedule, one that I can remember. If it's just random, then I'm going to forget to check it.
You'll be fine.
All right. Then.
You're not going to forget.
You'll be looking at those things so
I'm
much
sure
you will
I
not forget them.
That's what I'm saying. I
Dude,
don't want it to consume my whole time.
He told me, he's like, it is all you will think about. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's all I thought about.
Well, yeah, because you love smoking it so much.
Well, I
duh.
know, but like you got these little babies in the plant, and you're like,
Little
all right,
babies.
grow.
And you're talking to your plants?
Yeah. why
Man
aren't
just got
you
me
done
talking
yet?
to her plants inside now.
Hell yeah.
Little green buddies.
Play some music while you're working with them.
Well, I just open and
Damn
close the
right.
blinds for them every day so they get sunlight.
Whatever. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I do. And I like it best that way. Now, when I get my 4x8 up, I don't know if I'll go with that or not because that's a lot of hand water. That's a lot of time. So
I'm
we'll
gonna
see.
get you on hydro, Ryan.
Oh, no way am I getting on hydro. That is far too much work.
All right, before I forget, I got
It's
to
not.
ask Daily.Homegrown, first time you smoked weed, can you remember?
Oh man, yeah, actually I can. And I was a teenager, and coincidentally or wildly enough, I had found my mom's safe and kind of paperclip and opened it and found a roach in it. And that was the first time I smoked weed.
No shit. Your mom left a roach in her safe.
No shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how would you rate the experience? Did you enjoy it?
It was horrible. I got a headache, and I didn't try it again for a few more years.
Fair enough.
I don't know how long that thing sat in there, but it was not fresh.
That's hilarious.
Ditch weed or something.
I had a roach in my ashtray this morning that I forgot about last night. And
Yeah.
I thought, well, God, that's a lot of weed in there. I'm going to smoke it up. I
Sure.
almost puked and I threw it out. I was like, fuck that.
Yep.
It ain't worth it. I make too much money to smoke roaches now.
Fair enough. Fair
Not that I
enough.
make a lot of
funny.
money, but I'm just saying I make too much to smoke
And then,
roaches.
so obviously flour is your favorite way to partake?
Yeah, that's actually that or edibles. I really don't do dabs or anything like that. I used to smoke a whole lot of weed when I was younger. I'm talking, eighth quarter a day, easy every day. But nowadays, just a couple of hits, I'm good. I just need to elevate it.
Yeah,
So my styles have changed over the years, but like dabbing is something I have zero interest in.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. And then,
Give me a joint.
Yep.
so, all right. And then typically it's you roll your own pre-rolls?
Yep.
All right,
Pre-rolls
just-
or cones. I mean,
all right.
I never pre-rolls. I mean, I just cones. Probably,
Yeah, just like
or,
Dick does. Yeah, you like to pack a cone.
Yeah.
He likes
That's
to
right.
pack it tight.
Back a cone.
Packing
I think
a
it's
cone.
that or That or like a nice glass bowls.
Yeah, that's I'm
But,
glass bowls or the metal ones, but yeah, I like through water pipes, but yeah, well, I
Yep, just
really
whatever gets the best taste.
appreciate you being able to be on the show today, Daily.Homegrown. We've learned so much, and I'm sure if you're free someday, we'll get you on again as a guest.
I really appreciate the opportunity, you guys, and you guys are killing it out there. Keep it up. Keep inviting guests. Help educate the people, and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are smashing it, man. Love
Hey,
it.
thanks, man. It's good to talk to you on here finally.
Fantastic. Well, this has been
Likewise.
great. I really appreciate you. We are DICK&Dank.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. He's got dope discussions. I'm Mr. Dank5, and we're now on iHeartRadio.
Nice.
We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. Listen to our website, like and subscribe right there. And that's how I know who our true subscribers are. Get a personal email from me every time we have a new episode.
And don't forget to check out Daily.Homegrown and follow him on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Are
He's
you
gonna
anywhere
teach-
else?
No, that's mainly where I'm at right now. So
Okay.
until those rules change, I mean, we'll see.
I got
I'm Daily Homegrown on Instagram, though. You can find me. You'll see me.
Yeah, don't find the fake one. There's a fake one out there, but Daily.Homegrown is the one you want. He's the legit one.
No, the other one's not fake. It's
Not
his
fake,
backup.
it's somebody
It's a
else.
backup.
Oh,
It's
you
his
got a
backup.
backup.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's my
okay.
backup.
I didn't know you
Yeah.
had backups. See, I don't have backups. That's way too technical.
We probably need backups.
I don't know how to do it. I barely want to do the first one.
The time you need a backup is when you realize you don't have a backup.
Right.
Well, Dunk is the first one to listen to the episodes, and she's the unpaid intern. So she's keeping track of the social media and, who's listening to what and where. And so we can kind of track our followers. Like I'm up almost 6,000 followers there on Instagram. So every time
You're doing
we
great.
record an episode, I make a little promo about a 1 minute clip or so, and then put that on Instagram so everybody can hear and hopefully drive them here to listen.
Beautiful.
Well, I appreciate it. And thank you very much, Daily.Homegrown.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
See you, buddy.
Talking things and important facts, like what's next, give me gas. There's a place that you wanna go. The clientele is really slow. DICK&Dank.com, oh yeah. DICK&Dank.com, alright. DICK&Dank.com. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. DICK&Dank.com. DICK&Dank.com.
I feel like I'm going to make out with a bunny's ass with this thing on the front of it.
This is the first time we've been under the shuffleboard. We've never been over here because I've always had it with shuffleboard table.
Right. I noticed your winch, and that's when I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's up and it works.
So do you lock it into place?
Nope.
Or just open the fucking
Well, right now it's going to fall in the garage doors before it hits up. So you're safe in that.
Hopefully.
respect. Hopefully the garage door can catch it.
At least give me enough time to bail out of the way.